Here we are with the final review and thoughts about the Hasegawa 1 in 72 F-111G Pig. I think it is a G. It says G on the box. A lot of people say C, but I think it's a G. It's the year of the sprue is 1989. The box is 2019. So it's a lot of years between the original tooling and this model. We've got in terms of the extras that it comes with spare fuel tanks, but that's about it. And as you can see, the flaps and slats open up as well as this front thing. The canopy does not open up compared to some larger models. It was $75, built in early 2021. I think in terms of skill required, it's probably an intermediate, and I'd classify this as like a modest build. $75 for a model as good as this. In terms of artwork, the photo on the box art is, I'd say that's like an 8 out of 10. The sprue quality, there was not much flash on this model, and the plastic was of good quality for its age, strong enough to withstand sprue cutting, and it holds the smaller parts intact. It was single package though, which meant that there was a little bit of scratching on one of the parts of the fuselage on the underneath, but as you see, somewhere in here, you'd never see it. You'd never see it. So in terms of parts, finishing and tolerances and fit and finish and all that type of thing, 24 out of 30 I gave it. The parts are really good. It's lacking in deep panel lines, as you can see, but it's a small scale, so it required minimal cleanup and sanding as I was going through the parts. Sometimes the only thing you could see here is just a little bit of the sprue still there that I didn't clean up properly. Some fitting issues around here and in this area here where it just isn't sticking together absolutely perfectly. That's fine. Again, it's other than that a really good model. The canopy fits on perfectly well. All the exhaust nozzles, the slats and flaps, all working and fitting really nice and easy, very easy to put together. So 24 out of 30 there. Not too much putty. I think just a little bit of putty around the edges here, and maybe near that engine. These intake areas, just a little bit of putty there, and that was all that was required. I used a Edward mask, and that worked very well. I really recommend those masks. They're great. In terms of the instructions, gave it 7 out of 10. Very straightforward, basic instructions. The illustrations were accurate. The colours were not provided, but it's quite an old model, so you kind of probably don't expect that these days. 15 out of 20 for design and construction. Again, really nicely put together. No issues at all in terms of gaps. If anything, just a bit of cleanup required on the front here. That was probably the only bit, and you can just tell that there's a bit of an overlap at that area. But other than that, just having a look at it now, everything fit really well. Just on these rear bits are a little bit of a space there that probably should have been sanded down a little bit more by me, but I'm not sure if you can see that. But yeah, just that's pretty much it. This area here at the front just didn't fit that well. More putty should have been put there, but again, all very nice. The issue with the wings, so the wings it seemed to be on the plans that this open configuration was the only way to go. So you couldn't have it as a closed configuration, which is fine because this is what I wanted. But it would be nice to have that option to have it closed as well. The Delta look I really like. In terms of the decals, I used the decals that were included in the kit, and I think sometimes you can see in the lighting that there are issues with the size of these really big ones here, and there's fogging that can happen, and the panel wash can get underneath the decal, and I guess with more experience I could probably cut out a lot of that empty space so that it would be a much cleaner look of when the light hits it in certain places. You can probably say that's probably a good way. You can see that kind of foggy, cloudy look that a large decal does give. I'm not sure how to fix that in the future. I'll put down a lot of Mark Fit Strong, but that didn't seem to help really. So 6 out of 10 for the decals there. It was a really quick build, only 2 days I think. It was like 2 full days of building, and I think a 1 in 72, as you can see this is an A3 matte. This is just such a perfect size, I think, in terms of display, in terms of working on it. It's just a really, really nice size to work with, and I think 172 is going to be my preferred model size going forward. The 1 in 48, I have a 1 in 48 by Hobby Boss, so I'm going to build that soon. I expect that to be twice the size, so hopefully I can have that with the wing swept back, so it saves a bit of room, but we'll see how it compares, and I'll do a comparison between the two. In terms of enjoyment, yeah, 9 out of 10 to put it together. Real fun and easy. In summary, I think for the scale and for the age of the sprue, being 1989, this is really good detailed kit. Fit and finish is good. Really enjoyable to work with. I love the look of the slats and the flaps with all the red underneath. I think that's something new for me, and I think it looks really nice. Very quick build. I think for those people like me who really like the RAF models from Australia, this is a great option. It's the decal on it says 1999, so that I guess does show you the age of it all. But I think it's a lovely model. It's really good. It'll stay pride of place in my display cabinet, and overall I give it a 77. So that's a green 77. Just a lovely model to work with, and I've enjoyed pretty much all of it. Going on with a bit of an after action report, my expectations for this model were pretty low actually, because it's such an old sprue, 1989, as I keep saying, because I didn't know it at the beginning when I was building it, but 1989, my expectations were quite low. It's a very detailed kit for the age of it, I think. I was not building kits back in 1989, but I imagine if I got this, I'd be really, really happy with it. So low expectations on my behalf. In terms of putting it together, it was just really easy, really pleased with the way it's turned out. Like I said, absolutely, very, very little issues that I had, and probably, if anything, it was just how the thinness of the decals and the kind of the intricacy of having to work with them. Sometimes they folded up, but just with a bit of patience, I was able to kind of fix that up. In terms of what I learnt on this build, just that I guess sometimes you've got to take your time, because you can see a bit of over gluing there, and just in here I didn't clean up well enough in that area. Also a bit of overspray here, and I did the undercarriage in a funny way, but I think I got away with it. I put the undercarriage in first. I think a lot of the time you're better off creating it or building it to the side, painting it up, and then putting it on afterwards, so that you don't get any overspray like here with the white on the actual main body of the kit. The masking from Edward was really, really nice. First time I really used it well, I think. So quite good detail on these wheels here. The decals are great. The Tamir panel wash seemed to work pretty well in this detail along here and across the back, across just all this area in the top here. In terms of next time, what would I do differently? I'll probably spend more time in the cockpit. I really am quite lazy in the cockpits. I just kind of hit them with matte black. I think that's probably for me the next kind of area of growth, is just to kind of do a bit of work there, and also with clear lights. Also, I didn't put any red on these these little winglet things, that's probably something I should have done had I known about it before. So they're the things that I will try next time in the next build, is just a little bit of those details, a little bit more clear parts for the navigation lights and stuff like that, which I haven't put on this one. And that's about it. And the next one's going to be camouflage as well, so which will be the larger challenge, I think, compared to overall this neutral grey that I used, and black on the nose here. Thanks for watching.